Hi folks, and thanks for joining me. Let's take a look at a beautiful Zenith model 707 from around 1933. That's going to be up next for a restoration project. A few photos here in a slideshow just to show the beauty of the cabinet. Again, Zenith referred to this as an Advanced AC Superheterodyne with automatic volume control. Back in the early 30s, that's when those circuits were just taking off. Covers 535 to 1750 kilocycles. The upper part of the band there being available for police calls back in the day. Again, using the Electrodynamic Loudspeaker. We'll look at that a bit in detail here in just a few minutes. The cabinet in the front is gorgeous. It's using Butt Walnut. And you can see the construction style for the ends is a bookend style construction. And I've got one problem there. And of course the beautiful borders on the top and the bottom. Supposedly some imported inlaid. So hopefully all that will stay intact when we do the strip and the refinish to bring this thing back into a great looking radio and hopefully playing real well in the future. The knobs here, missing one, the other's not original. It's not a match for the set, so we'll have to take care of that. And again, the top of the cabinet itself, the finish itself is had better days. As you guys saw, the bookend style construction, good on the left side of the cabinet here with that lower piece of the trim work or molding that's cut, but the right side, that piece is missing. I was hoping I would find it tucked away inside the chassis, but it's not there, so we'll have to recreate that piece. A look at the back side of the cabinet, the chassis. Looking at some other photos, there was a back to this, so we'll have to cut out another back and place that on the set during the restoration process. And a look at the tag itself from the factory, and it looks to have the original line cord. Of course, we'll cut that off. Flipping the radio over here, you can see the underside, and then looking back in the chassis here, just above the power output tube and the rectifier tube, you'll notice what appears to be some asbestos as well that we'll need to take care of during the restoration process. Only 2 fasteners are being used at the current time to keep the chassis in the cabinet itself. Let's look at the chassis itself now. With the chassis having a lot of rust and there's some sharp edges there as well, I'm going to go ahead and throw some gloves on here and we'll come back and see if we can get this out. As you can see, one of the tacks that holds the cardboard down on the bottom itself to keep the critters out of the chassis has come loose, and that's actually got the chassis here held in place. And now we've got it. And a look back in the cabinet with the chassis removed, you can see all the filth and mess that we'll need to clean up. I'm going to seal this up in a garbage bag for now, so we don't have any of this stuff flying around in the air. And we'll address the cabinet when weather permits here, as we approach spring or sooner if the weather allows. So this thing's definitely a little nastier than I thought it would be, just based on the condition of the cabinet. So we've got right much rust to mitigate. The tubes too, and notice you got the old bulb style. This is the 56 if it's correct, the oscillator tube, and the 57, that being the first detector, and then up next the 58, the IF amplifier, a 2A6, the second detector, and then this is supposed to be a 59 tube for the power output tube, and the rectifier tube being a full wave rectifier type 80 tube. One thing that's interesting, you'll notice this tube is marked number 80 here. So we'll have to look at that closer in just a bit. Let me spin this thing around. Let's take a look at the front and see what kind of loudspeaker we've got in here. And it's like one grid wire here. It's had better days. Yeah, it looks like this thing's in pretty good shape. The one hole here, or indentation there in the loudspeaker, other than that it looks to be in pretty good shape. Old school here. You can see how we're securing the center pole piece in. So the tuning mechanism is not working. We'll see if we can figure that out. Then we'll do some rescans here as well of the dial, just in case we need to reproduce that, or someone else needs to in the future. Alright, not bad. You can see someone definitely has been in here and worked on the radio at some point. We've got kind of a mismatch here of various capacitor types. So not surprising, again, with its age dating back to around 1933, 1934. And you can see here as well, looks like we've had a few little critters in here at some point. We'll go ahead and get everything checked out here, see what the power transformer looks like, and look at the transformers, IF transformers, which are set to, I think it was 485 kilocycles. And we'll look at the oscillator coil, which I assume is here, and make sure it's good. Check the voice coil of the loudspeaker, in addition to the field coil and some other measurements. Let me get these tubes out, and then we'll pick back up in video number 2 and start doing some of these preliminary checks and see what we've got. Thanks for watching, folks. You guys take care and stay well out there.